So the bathroom is out the door to the, I should have said that earlier, to the left. So this is our last week of a month of studying an early Buddhist sutra, the Anapanasati Sutta. Did I say it right? Got it. See, it took a whole month. You just keep practicing it, you'll finally. And been using Thich Nhat Hanh's book, Breathe, You Are Alive. The Sutra on the Full Awareness of Breathing. So I thought, it's a little different, we don't usually do this, but just curious if people just want to kind of like shout out, or you don't have to shout, you can just say it. What was your experience of alive?
The warmth on my feet.
The warmth on your feet.
The wind.
The wind.
Drops from the fountain.
Drops from the fountain.
Birds.
Birds.
The breeze.
The breeze.
Sun on my face.
The sun on your face.
The hot pavement.
A hot pavement.
My nervous system dropping.
Your nervous system dropping.
The click of my cane on the sidewalk.
The click of your cane on the sidewalk. Anybody online want to say?
Looking at my geraniums.
You have to, a little louder, can't, oh.
Looking at my geraniums.
Looking at your geraniums. Well, then you all must be dead. No, the rest of you, sorry. No, sorry, I couldn't help myself. Because we're all alive. And in the most fundamental way, I think, you know, early Buddhism in particular helps us know that we're alive by helping us note things. Zen, by the time Zen came along, basically just says sit in this posture. If you sit in this posture, I mean upright, grounded, present, breathing in, breathing out, everything that was denoted early on is what you're going to Now? Now? Okay, good. Ears, sounds. I mean, it's amazing to sit in the full aliveness of alive, of just breath in itself, just to come back, breathing and being breathed and breathed by the air and the wind, and to be in a body. But I was sitting here, and for whatever reason today, I was just noticing like saliva. You know, it's like all this stuff's going on in your mouth all the time, and then there's sounds, your ears, and smells, taste, touch. And most of the time, if you're anything like me, we're walking around thinking, where am I going? My body, that body. I mean, we see through this and that when there's this amazing alive experience that's just happening all the time. And then we get to watch, because we have the Buddhist teachings to help us watch, the felt sense, which advises start with, instead of I feel good, I feel bad, I feel angry, is when you take the I away from it and just stay really close. So this is staying close. Someone described mindfulness in another way, which is heartfulness. Or maybe maybe just alivefulness or something like that, is begin with pleasant. Oh, it's really pleasant experience to walk on a spring day, to feel this alive. But can be unpleasant too. Can be pain in the midst of it, or in the next moment. We just never know. Or maybe there's this neutral feeling of you just didn't even know. There's a kind of dullness or a numbness to it that, or it could just be waking up and noticing I'm not being pulled towards something. I'm not pulling away from something, just present, just here. And then we get to notice the mind. Did you notice? Yeah. That what the mind does is, well, here we're going to jump into. The mind can't be separated from its object. The mind must always be conscious of something. So it's always categorizing. What am I conscious of? Do I like it? Do I not like it? Who is that over there? Where are we going? What is this all about? Anger, anxiety, settling down. It's just what the mind does. Feeling is always feeling something. Loving and hating, attachment and aversion is always loving and hating something, right? It's like we're kind of out there, okay, I feel the love it. I got it. And then it'll either cooperate with our story or not cooperate with our story, but it's going to change, right? So as we more and more practice being just coming back, breathing in, breathing out, awake and aware in a body, with a mind, with a heartbeat, noticing how much we're scanning in there and out there, trying to find some cause and effect. But maybe our perception, our conditioned perception of the way that we have been conditioned in our family and our culture and as human beings to try to make order out of this world. Well, one, we can notice how's it going for you? How's it going for the world? And two, maybe there's something we're not quite, maybe there's a way of being and experiencing reality that's a little different than the dualistic view of this and that. Maybe there's something more whole and alive and immediate. I think this is my experience. I don't know what yours is I think we little human beings feel pretty little in the world. And so we're always trying to figure out some way to be safe and to be in control of things. So I think this thing about, yeah, everything's impermanent and everything is interconnected and everything is moving sounds really good. But I also think unless you practice and have an embodied ground, we will always, almost always, although sometimes the universe will give us experiences. You're just walking along and you just can't believe that the sun pierced through the clouds and got your attention. And those moments happen. But usually we will go back to our own safe little conditioned boxes and ways. And it may look different, but basically it's the same old karmic wheel. But we begin to notice it more. Like, whoops, no, that one. Whoops. I just spent the entire 5 minutes, hour, day, without ever really feeling the felt sense of alive. Because maybe we'd like it, maybe we wouldn't like it, who knows? And I think it's why you need practice and why you need Sangha and why you need teachings. And I don't care what teachings they, because every tradition, I think, points to the same thing. But you just keep saying, which is really what koan practice is what is it? What's really happening here? What is alive? And the deep yearning to come back, because I think in this, in the experience in this alive place is we don't feel so alone and isolated and separate anymore. There's a sense of place that's not my place, but just here. And that it actually is the safest place to be, the most responsive place to be, the most loving place to be, because we can actually feel and respond to each moment as a part of it, as opposed to standing outside of it and trying to figure it out or control it. So number 13, I just sort of did number 1 through 12. Number 13, the sutta. Breathing in, I observe the impermanent nature of all dharmas, of everything that exists. As if we pay attention. When we pay attention. The ongoing process of waking up in present moment attention is that everything's moving and changing all the time. It's not solid and set. And that's when we say this word impermanence. That sounds good, but it's a felt alive experience. There is no phenomena with separate lasting individuality. I wrote that one down. There is no phenomena with separate lasting individuality. I was saying one of the most amazing things about spring is you can watch it move. You can watch it come out of the earth. You can almost see the grass growing and things unfurling, but you can also, just as, I mean, my roses are like boom, boom, boom. And then they're falling and you can't stop it. And then right behind that, on the altar, at the all day sitting, it was great. We bought petals in to do offerings, and I meant to look them up, the little green and black bugs that go and eat your roses. I mean, they're so happy. I mean, they show up every spring, so obviously they have a life cycle that I don't know, but I'm sure somebody, I was figuring.
Diabrotica.
What are they?
Diabrotica.
Diabrotica.
Yeah, quite a name.
Yeah, for a little tiny big being who can just chomp down your roses and just, I mean, you can just watch. You can watch this thing happen. And it's happening all the time, everywhere, inside, outside. And this self that we think is solid, it's just because we keep looking at it and telling ourselves we're this solid this or that, and we like it and we don't like it. But when you come into the visceral level, it's amazing to watch thoughts come and go, and feeling and felt senses arise and pass. And if you take the I off of it, instead of saying, I am angry, I am anxious, just to watch the waves of what we call anxiety and how it's not solid. It's one thing. And then it turns into something else and something else. But again, I think we like safety and comfort. I do too. But alive will give you alive. Just the whole purpose of this, it seems to me, in the most fundamental way, is to be happy. I mean, that's what all of this is about, is how do you be happy? I mean, not in happy, oh, like I got something, I finally, I got this or I got that. But to just be able to dwell deeply in and experience the present moment, and to be in relationship with this self and with the selves in the room and with the changing light seasons and with birth and death. That is birth and death, and people do die and people are born, but even that is what is that? Where did birth come from? Where does death go? And is there coming and going? And is clearly, I mean, I love, this is all Zen stuff and it's kind of heady, but it's kind of fun too, is like there's coming and going. It's like you came and you went, but where is this coming and going? And where did you come from? And where are you going? And we all have our stories, right? I mean, they're true. It's not about not being grounded in reality, but the experience is, there's this foot, and then there's this foot, and this moment, and this experience, and then the next experience. So four fundamental Buddhist teachings. Again, Buddhism, early Buddhism, like to categorize. No self, non-self. Of course, there's a self. I mean, of course, Debbie's Debbie, but one, she's not who she thinks she is. She's changing all the time, and she's completely interbeing with Joni and with everybody here, and with 100 million other causes and conditions. A really grounded, beautiful saying. This is because that is. And that is not, this is not because that is not. You take one thing away and the whole world changes. We are actively co-creating the world all the time. And of course we get scared, and of course there's politics, and of course there's this, and of course there's that. But if we want to have any agency at all in this world, to help the world come into alignment with what it really is, which is that everything is interdependent, and in Thich Nhat Hanh's language, interbe, everything is deeply affecting everything else. The more we can show up and breathe, and ground in the body, study our thought patterns, our feeling patterns, our reactivity, not with judgment, but with a sense of, wow, this is alive. You can't take any of it out. It's just, how are you going to be in relationship with it? And is it held in a breath body of aliveness? Or is it held and reinforced in belief systems and concepts that just keep it going and keep the world going in the same way? Second one, signlessness. Nothing can be fully grasped by words or concepts. The minute you turn it into a word or concept, it turned into a word or concept. You kind of got it, but you left a whole lot out. It's all, and you have to use words, but just know you're doing it. It's like the minute I take that bird call, and I mean, it's actually kind of beautiful. My husband's really gotten into bird sounds, and so now we're hiking, and he has this bird app, and he stops and he tells me about the names of all the different birds that are singing, which is really beautiful, because there's more awareness, but you can't. There's a signlessness to it too. You can't grasp it or hang on to the word. It's just you wake up with it. And because it can't be grasped by concepts, in Buddhism, the language would be it's empty of any inherent self-existence. I mean, the bird is calling because the wind is blowing and because it's a spring day and it's a certain kind of, and the bugs are out because I don't know why, but there's 100,000,000 causes and conditions. It's alive. And the fourth is aimlessness or wishlessness. That there's no final goal to any of this. There's no origin and no end. Aha, I finally got it. Like I finally nailed that one down. Everything is awake and alive. And the more we wake up to it, the more alive and happy everything is, including the self. So that's number 13. So number 14, you were probably wondering, right? Breathing in, I observe the disappearance of desire. Happiness doesn't lie in the desire for a set outcome in the future. I mean, of course, we do this and we have, you know, I hope this happens and but basically we know that whatever the desire is that arises is please full-heartedly embrace it and take the next step and then see where you are in the next moment and the next moment. Everything is already in the process of dissolving and turning into something else. This is actually really good news. It's alive. Number 15, breathing in, I observe cessation. Because there's nothing to grasp. You follow the exhale to the end. It's wide open. And then the next moment comes. And it's just this process of no longer being imprisoned in a small self, a narrow reality of anxiety and sorrow, and more erroneous views, birth and death, permanence, annihilation. This is from Thich Nhat Hanh, increasing, decreasing, coming and going. It's just, it's not big enough. It's not big enough to include the mystery of what alive is, which is also simultaneously extremely ordinary. You're just walking out there, feeling the warmth of the pavement on your feet. Wow. I think children intuitively know this. Just get trained. Number 16. I observe letting go. It's moment after moment, letting go. We don't let go of reality. We're firmly rooted here. We just let go of believing our perception. That it's solid and divided and this and that. And it's also true. I mean, you better, when you get behind a car, you better put your hand on the wheel and take care of this car so that car gets taken care of. But Suzuki Roshi said, all I really want is for my students to be able to hear the bird song. Think of that. Mark something here. Let me see what I marked. Letting go does not mean abandoning one thing in order to seek something else. It means giving up every comparison, seeing that there is nothing to be removed and nothing to be added, and that the boundary between ourselves and others is not real. We need not give up our human condition in order to become a Buddha. We seek Buddhahood in our very human condition, giving up nothing and seeking nothing. That is the meaning of aimlessness, sometimes translated as wishlessness. It is not the same as seeking, a concept. In order to let go of everything, let go in order to be everything and to be completely free. Buddha said. In case you didn't believe me, but you know, you don't have to believe the Buddha either. The past is already gone. The future is not yet here. There is only one moment for you to live. And that is the present moment. And here's a little gatha from Thich Nhat Hanh. I have arrived. I am here. Nope, excuse me. I have arrived. I am home. You just stay with that. I have arrived. I am home. In the here, in the now, I am solid and I am free. In the ultimate, I dwell. I always think Suzuki Roshi talked about the in-breath and the out-breath as a swinging gate. And I think about solid and Thich Nhat Hanh's language of the ultimate, which is the formless, which is emptiness, which is interbe. This is just a swinging gate. Everything's swinging in and out of existence. And the beauty of Zazen and practice is just learning to sit upright and breathe in the midst of it. Not in the midst of it, as it. And then we get happier. Freer. So does the world. And then we're more able to be not only happy, to embody happiness, but also to help other people. Because it's really nice to have lots of good ideas about being of service and wanting to help other people, but mostly we're just coming at it through deep heart, but limited perception. Bodhisattvas are just here. Opening and extending ourselves. Okay, so we have a little bit of time. We have maybe 15 minutes. So I would suggest going into groups of 3. We've got some new people, so let's mix it up as much as we can, and I'll put you guys in groups of 3. My question is, you can always talk about whatever's up. Each person you can time, you can kind of help each other time 3 or 4 minutes, and then time to talk together. What is alive? Or you could start with alive is, that's your jump off. And then just, you don't have to know anything. You don't have to be a good Buddhist. You don't have to figure anything out. That is just like, see what comes. Surprise yourself, and your other group mates will be there listening deeply and loving you no matter what you say. That's the practice. Okay, so off you go. You can go outside, you can come in here, I'll ring a bell. You got about 15 minutes, and I'm